Alright, we're live. Let me just make sure I'm opening the chat. Announcing on the official, unofficial Tatai fan Discord. Doing all that good stuff. Hello, hello. Good to see you, Callie. Let's go ahead and get this party started, shall we? Let me sort through all my various windows. There we go. Okay. So, here's the plan for today. Got a couple tasks on the docket. Still procrastinating on needing to catch a bunch of Pokemon, procrastinating a bit on the Saffron Gym. Here's the plan. We just arrived at Seafoam Islands, so we're going to take our quick tour through there, grab, like, an item. I think there's a trainer. Do the route between Seafoam and Cinnabar, then do the route north of Cinnabar, then do Cinnabar Mansion and possibly the Cinnabar Gym, depending on how the levels agree with this. But for now, we've got to wake up our Joy-Con. There we go. We've got Seafoam itself. Now, Seafoam is an area that I do not know very well at all. Because I just never go through here, really. So I'm probably gonna get lost, but that's okay. Anyway, Callie, I haven't checked the levels for the Cinnabar Gym, to be perfectly honest. I was being a little bit hopeful that maybe they would be cooperative, even if it's the 7th gym. Just because, like, Sylph Corporation was a lot lower level than I expected. So, I thought, hey, you know, maybe. But we'll see. Level 48. Okay, good to know. For his top level, at least. I don't know, maybe the trainers in there will be worth doing. And, you know, Tendies, I think, will be decent against what he's got. Howdy Norris, howdy Sean, howdy Soul, good to see all of you. Glad you can make it. I think this guy's like the one trainer in here. He's got the original evolutions, and that's like it. Yeah, an Alolan Muck would be pretty cool. On the other hand, we could do Poison Monotype in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and have a Alolan Muck there, or just some other restriction that allows me to use an Alolan Muck there. I could do, like, all Alolan forms or something. That'd be something. I'd be restarting Ultra Moon. Yeah, because it's been, 1, a long time since I played it. And 2, I would feel weird only showing half of the series, only half the game. So that could be a longer series than this one, depending on how it goes. I don't know. Yeah, that's a valid criticism, Hedgie. Still manages to be pretty strong with that Flare Blitz. Let's see, Alolan Muck is Poison Dark, is that right? So either all Poison again, or all Dark. All Dark might include Incineroar. I haven't checked at the availability, the options. For really either of those types. But that's the kind of restriction that I'm kind of leaning towards. This type. I mean, my main struggle with figuring things out is, like, I usually like to show off the new Pokemon in a generation. I think some King Pun's gonna need to take this for the team. But there are just so few new Pokemon in Gen 6 and 7. It's kind of frustrating when trying to design a team around them. Toxapex? Yeah, Poison would have Toxapex. That would be cool. Although I think Toxapex is extremely defensive, right? So it might not be super interesting to watch on a stream. But would be really cool. Also, yeah, I don't know what all is available in Ultra Moon versus Original Moon. Because again, played very little Ultra Moon. And don't really remember Original Moon that well. Yas. I mean, when I say that there aren't very many new Pokemon in Gens 6 and 7, I say that because there aren't. And because I compare them to Gen 5, which had 150 new ones, which was really cool. And especially... Ooh, hello. Especially Gen 6, you're just so saturated with Pokemon that are not new. But Gen 7 has that problem too. Way too many Spearow. Ooh, hello. Yeah, I would need to look at the options for either Poison or Dark. I think those are both neat ideas. Oh, that's cool. I didn't need to go through the whole startup animation again. Okay. Did I talk to you? Yes. Poison and Dark types? Well, that's getting a little bit loose, but... I know, I specifically remember way too many Spearow. And be like, really, you couldn't have come up with another bird? You already got Picky Peck. Yeah, Salazzle is a tricky one to capture, since female Salandit are so rare. Oh, fucking Skuntank. I want a Skuntank. Steal. I'd be totally on board for anything that gets a Skuntank in my zone. Drapeon's cool too. I'm excited for the inevitable Gen 4 remake, because there's a lot of really cool Gen 4 Pokemon. Hey, there's Ice Beam. All right. That's the big thing that we wanted, right? Yeah, I think Ice Beam on Tendies is a good idea. Yeah, I never use Barrier, so... Gotta get over there somehow. I definitely remember Seafoam being more confusing when I was a kid, but to the game's credit, I was a stupid child at the time. Anti-legendary. I think, you know, I used to not really... I used to not really use legendaries in-game, but I kind of feel like it might be fun at some point to do that. So I could go for a Poipole Naganano. I could go for that, probably. Yeah, and there we go. Yeah, there's a couple possibilities, although I don't, again, have not played Ultra Moon significantly. I don't know how available they are before the credits. That's moving too quickly to surf over, if I remember right. Man, I should use a repel. What if I did that? That'd be a good idea. This would probably be a lot easier if I were not riding a Haunter. Man, you think I remember when the Dragon Trial is? It seems like a late trial, but I don't know. Although having a somewhat longer stream of new Pokemon available might be nice. Because here we kind of got everything halfway through. Oh, I can... No, I can't. Never mind. What's the animation here? Oh. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that Eevee stays superpowered the entire time, even between floors. I think that's really nice. But yeah, I could stand not having to press the button every time. I am close to Articuno, probably. Yeah, I think that's where Articuno is. I don't have any particular reason to interact with Articuno at this point. No, don't tell me the solution. I want to figure it out myself. This is like my first time actually doing Seafoam Island in 20 years. I don't know. I never do Seafoam Islands. So this is me in my natural environment of being confused and stumbling around. Yeah, Sill Valley, maybe. Okay, I still need to push a boulder down there. Boink. Do I need to... I already surfed around here, didn't I? This is where I came in. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm Team Zapdos, TBH. I'm not sure what is it about. So the Eevee that shows up in the corner there basically means that Eevee has a little special interaction or just reaction to the environment. I should probably rub his face. Whoa. Let's do that again with the centered Joy-Con. There we go. There we go. Alright, that's what I wanted. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave Articuno. Don't really have a reason to interact. Oh, I still want that. There we go. This place is really manageable when there are no wild encounters. There's an ice stone. What do we use an ice stone for in a game with only the original 151 plus Meltan and Melmetal? Oh, Alolan Vulpix. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, and here we are. Let's revive some of our buddies here. Cool. Cool, that wasn't terribly traumatic. I think we got all the loot that we needed. I don't know what any of these trainers will have. Interesting. I'm flying. Should be okay. Immune to its bone meringue. If I leech life here, I should be able to counterbalance some of that thrash. So yeah, we're back to a trainer-heavy little section here. Hurt yourself, hurt yourself. Ah. Well. Let's just take the easy way out. And actually, no, let's not use Valerie. Let's use Tendies. Tendies, the lower level, can use the experience. So what's going on in people's lives here? We've got trainers, so we've got time to talk. What's new? What's hip? $45. Oh dear. Oh man, I don't remember what's good against Fairy. I think I'm wrong here. Oh, no, I'm right. I don't know what romesco sauce is. Is that... It sounds like a pasta sauce. There we go. Okay. Oh, that would have been great for Golban. The astronaut with the psychic, probably. Pepper bread based sauce? I need more explanation here. I cannot imagine making a sauce out of pepper and bread. Ooh. Oh, okay, alright. That wasn't bad. Yeah, walk me through the process here. Walk me through the process, because... Like... I imagine the bread is a source of starch which thickens the sauce, taking the place of like a roux or something. But I don't understand the rest of it. And I could be wrong about that part. Don't think I need that, but nice to have. Okay, swimmer, probably gonna want Bellray here. I don't think you are. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, slow row, okay. Gonna be a little tricky. Alright, beef it, or beast it. Probably beefing it is the bad thing. We don't want beefing it. Okay, add red pepper, bread, garlic clove, dried cayenne, sherry vinegar, and oil. And, like, you just throw those in a saucepan and stir, or... So I'm just trying to, like, imagine how it breaks up. Like, is it that the heat and the torsion from stirring just breaks up the bread and allows it to disperse, or I'm just struggling to imagine it. So King Kong, do you still have electricity? Yes, Thunder Punch. Damn it, I don't have my phone next to me, otherwise I would Google this sauce. Okay, you might hear some clicking here, but I have to know more about this sauce. Yeah, you do your Thunder Punch thing. I'm reading about fish sauces. Ooh, that's a good punch. Don't like the survivability there, unfortunately. 12 cloves of garlic. Sorry, I'm on all recipes. Hey, thank you. Good job, Some King Pun. Okay, blend it. Now, when you say blend it, you don't mean like stick it in a blender or food processor. You mean like stir. Let's see how much damage this thing does. I've seen vinegar, I've seen paprika. Where's the oil in this one? I don't see oil in this recipe. It's got tomato. Oh, there it is. Yeah, olive oil. Ooh, that's totally doable. I don't know what it used, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, possible flinching, but... Man, if I weren't vegetarian, I would be really curious to try this. Does it go on anything that isn't a fish? 12 cloves of garlic seems like a lot of garlic to me. Yeah. I'm used to like 1 or 2 in a recipe. Ah, again with the drill pick. I mean, garlic is good, don't get me wrong. I am pro garlic. I am on board with the garlic train. Yeah, a lot of kind of East Asian, India, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, really good for vegetarian cuisine. I wish I weren't a pansy about spicy things, though. It would open up a lot of doors for me. See, I would love to have Some King Pun out for more thunder punching, but that's probably a bad idea. What with the ground? I've got a lot of good vegetarian options at Chinese places. I mean, maybe they're not super authentic Chinese places. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. Start me. Okay, that's just going to be dangerous against everything. Oh, does it not have psychic? Weird. Why is it trying to scald me? I mean, yeah, it'll make Razor Leaf weaker, but you'd think it would have something better. Okay, so I'm just hashtag blessed a little bit there then, Harsh. I'm okay with that. Hey, 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 look at that. I'm not gonna go for the mirror match, because that would be tedious. That's quitter talk, Callie. I believe in you. You could do it if you really wanted to. You are under no pressure to, but you could do it. No. Thunder Punch. Oh, that's doable. Yeah, Drogon could work too. That makes sense. But either one. I would love if some King Pun were faster. That would be awesome. But let's see how this does with the burn. Can hold out hope for a crit. Or that could happen. Lucky hit, lucky hit. Ah. That was a good go, Beller. Let's go Tendies. Tendies needs a little more experience here. I need a better grass move than Razor Leaf. Really like that. So, happiness or affection, or whatever the heck the other mechanic is. Because, like, a lot of them are holding tight. You know, a lot of them will hold on with 1 HP, which indicates high whatever the Sylveon one is. But the thing about, you know, this game is that it doesn't have Pokemon of Me or whatever the one in Gen 5 is. So I think it's harder to raise affection in this game as far as I'm aware. I don't know. Is there a way to raise affection in this game directly other than just hanging out and using the Pokemon? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go trailer free as well, Harsh. It's gonna be really hard to go completely spoiler free just because Twitter. But, like, I've unfollowed Cerebi. And I'm not gonna watch any trailers. Oh, having them follow me. Okay, so Gastrodon is probably up there. Dangerous pin missile, that powerful Mewtwo killer. Yeah, people will find ways around whatever word filters that you set up, is my concern. Because, like, imagine if you had, and I'm gonna drop some names from the first trailer. Imagine if you had already censored Generation 7. Or, you know, Pokemon. If you had censored Pokemon, you would still get stuff on your feed that says Grookey. Because you wouldn't know to filter Grookey, and then suddenly, oh, well, there we go. And then you just have image posts that are just pictures of the new starters as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters. And that's going to cross your feed, and there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, there's just the way that people discuss things. They do not always use the term that would signal the filter to go. Right, I mean, you could just not use Twitter, which would probably be better for your mental health, but good luck. Ooh, that guy looks formidable. Let's try this lady first. Yeah, I rarely compose my own tweets. I retweet quite frequently. Oh yeah, Facebook is worse. For sure. Twitter is not good. Tumblr is not good. None of them are good. Oh, butts, really? Rude. At least it's neutral. Yeah, Bellary. Yeah! Bellary has high affection, it seems like. Ooh, that'll be interesting, too. Probably Tendies, actually, here. Well, by process of elimination, Norris, that one is the best. I would say Twitch counts as social media. There's a lot of interaction and parasocial relationships that are exercised there. That's not what we want at all. I mean, the degree to which Twitch would be social media depends on how much you interact, I suppose. Oh yeah, no, Instagram has tons of its own problems. You know, it creates a distorted hyper-reality and implicitly encourages everyone to participate. Yeah, Gen 5 was the one that I went in the most blind for, and that was a good decision. Oh. Well, let's keep these up front. I think this is the last trainer before we get to Cinnabar. Ooh, trading Pokemon. Is he gonna have trade evolutions? Yeah, he is. Yeah, there are games I would love to wipe my memory of. Some of them I even want to play again. Yeah, now that Nintendo Switch Online is a paid feature, I'm much less of a fan of the existence of trade evolutions, and I wasn't a huge fan to begin with. Well, now that it's defense fell, maybe I should stick with Poison Jab. It's that move that I always say the name wrong, because I read what's on the screen instead of what is meant to be implied, apparently. It blew my mind when people in the comments were like, it's supposed to be called Cross Scissor, the same way as Cross Chop. I was like, I can see your logic. That is a reasonable conclusion to come to. Still says X Scissor. But, like, especially, I think Japanese likes to use X as a stand-in for cross. Yeah, like, oh, hey, neat, cool, thanks. I think, like, Xenoblade Chronicles X, it's also Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, depending on who you talk to. Oh man, they changed the edge here. Alright, we've made it to Cinnabar. Hey, Magmar. Yeah, for alligators, one of those things where it just really bothers me. And Victory Bell, for that matter, speaking of Bellary. Because, it doesn't actually, there it is. Victory Bell with one L. Really bothers me. Vespi Queen also really bothers me. That's not suspicious at all. Alright, so before we do Pokemon Mansion, we've got a route up here with plenty of sandbars and swimmers. How is Illumise pronounced? Because that's how I say it, but that doesn't seem right. Oh yeah, sure, do a Pokemon battle in the middle of a triathlon. That's a thing that people do. Illumisa. Illumisa? I mean, I hear the illuminate in there, but Illumise. Illumise, I can do that. Illumise, that makes sense. Alright, I'll buy that. Oh! Illumise? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I take it back, that's terrible. So, I mean, Illumise, that at least helps communicate the pun. Illumise, just, that's wrong. That feels bad. That sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like a Spanish word, to be perfectly honest. Or Italian. That sounds Italian, that's what it sounds like. Illumise. Now again, if it were French, it would be pronounced Eevee. Yeah, for the record, and I've thought this for several years, when, oh, what's his name? There's a voice actor who's hired on for Pokemon Generations, and he made an official tweet, saying the official pronunciation that he was told for Pokemon is Pokemon. Which, as far as I'm concerned, is just not canon. Yeah, I was reading about Arceus the other day, and apparently they deliberately didn't do Arceus because it sounded like arse. And they were like, oh, let's not do that. I mean, Lysander sounds at least vaguely French to people who are not French. It knows Lysander. Or Lysandry. This is true, Sean is correct. RKS from Sil Valley is in-game confirmation that it's Arceus. Uh-oh, Zach's brought in some fighting words, saying that Lysander is even remotely alright. It's set in Kalos, Hedgie. I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of this France place. Getsus is almost the best villain. Getsus did the Legend of Korra Season 1 Amon thing of, oh, what's that? He's bringing up a kind of valid point that's worth exploring in the game? Oh, he doesn't actually believe it, and he's just a bad guy, so we don't actually have to grapple with that moral quandary that he's raising? Okay. Yeah, N is good. Giovanni is best. Wait, was anyone under any impression that Lysander was for any amount of time not the villain? Because he's introduced by monologuing about... I mean, ProZD has a video about this. He's introduced by monologuing evilly. Oh, Steve. Cyrus did try to summon a deity of space-time to attempt to recreate the universe. So, like, that's not great. Is Archer one of the Team Rocket executives? Is he, like, the head executive in Gen 2? Hey, I'll fight you on my boy Guzma. Guzma is, actually, I wanna re-examine Guzma in Gen 7. I wanna play through, in my Ultra Moon playthrough, I'm gonna pay attention to Guzma and kind of try to get a sense of what I actually think about him. Because he's charismatic, at least. He's enjoyable to see on screen. But I need to think more, engage more with his ideology and figure out what exactly he's about. Because I don't really remember. Oh, I've heard that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon made the writing just worse and the story less compelling and complex. I've heard that, like, they messed with what's her name? The character who's important? The mom? Whatever her name is. I've heard they messed with her. I heard they softened her. Lucamine, that's the name. Because I remember when I played through Moon the first time, I thought they actually did a pretty good job about, like, doing some Freudian elements in the symbolism of the game to kind of relate to and supplement the talk of parent-child relationships in the game. And I thought, wow, they're actually doing a little bit of sophistication. But I hear they backed off, so... That's Henta cool. I can't believe this. What are you doing throwing these children at me? I don't really have anything good against this thing, though. Is she straight up not a villain anymore? Is that what I'm hearing? I mean, it's still kind of interesting, just from the way you said that, Hedgie. She thinks they look beautiful because they seem to be in pain. That's mildly uncomfortable. But I guess I don't do much with that. Yeah, I am looking forward to checking out Ultra Moon and getting to the part where the story is different, just for the sake of comparison. Oh, okay. I don't remember the original well enough. Is Lily's comment that you're talking about there, Hedgie, has that been changed from the original to Almost Hurts to Breathe? Was the original It Hurts and then it changed to Almost Hurts, or... Because I don't remember that particular detail. And I think there's good symbolic meaning to be derived from it. But maybe it's stronger than the original. I've just forgotten the dialogue. Or did she, like, pass out in the original? I don't remember. It's been 2 years since I played Moon. Because, like, in the original Sun and Moon, the passageways, like the Ultra Wormholes into the Ultra Dimension, had this very deliberate, I think, yonic imagery to them, which tied into the Lusamine relationship with her children and kind of the conflation of the Ultra Beasts and her children. And so having the Ultra Dimension being a place of pain and constriction against her child, very fitting. Gastron, you're gonna be faster. Get that psychic and wrap it up. Wrap it up. Yeah, if I had ever actually done a proper Moon playthrough, I would have kind of explained this in better and more thorough detail than I am here trying to remember my observations from 2 years ago on a stream off the cuff. But I remember finding it really striking and interesting. It's disappointing. I liked her. I thought she was interesting. Oh man, do I have to go to the... Oh, I guess... Is Rainbow Rocket post-game? Because I should do Rainbow Rocket. But I don't generally like doing post-game for these series. Okay, alright. Guess I'm doing some post-game. Oh, okay. 2 hours, I can do that. Well, you're not swimming. That's one thing. Yeah, it's not that I think I'll necessarily like Rainbow Rocket, especially since apparently they're fucking bringing back Giovanni again and ruining his character. But, you know, it seemed like it was a major story aspect that I should check out, so... Annabelle stuff I thought could have been interesting. I thought in terms of structure it was a little bit repetitive. And it was a little bit more lore than theme, I feel like. Just remembered I have a bunch of rare candies that I can pull out if I really need to. Here. Oh, there's a tricky trainer. Is that Magikarp Man? Might be Magikarp Man. Yeah, I don't think I've heard the Rainbow Rocket theme. I've heard Ultra Necrozma's theme. But I don't think I've heard the Rainbow Rocket theme. Ah. Oh, nice. Managed to survive a Hydro Pump. Pretty good. I had basically no opinion about Zinnia. Actually, I take that back. Her music was rad. But character-wise, I didn't have much of an opinion. Also, small note, but I really like that they've included that small snippet of the original Hydro Pump music. Or, not music, the sound effect. I think they do a pretty good job of reincorporating old sound effects. But they've actually started to modify them a little bit, rather than just using the same Gen 1 cries 10-15 years later. Why do I still have poison powder on Bellary? That should be toxic. Let's fix that. I'd rather experience it in-game, I think. That'll be one thing that's actually new for me in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, so... Yes, finally a one-shot. Excellent. Let's see, is that... Do we have one more trainer or two? I wish I could predict what these trainers had a little bit better. So it feels like I'll have something up front, and I'll, like, think, oh, no, they probably have something else. I'm going to switch to something else. And then that original Pokemon was actually going to be a better matchup. Is this Magikarp Man? Thank you, Magikarp Man! How so, Callie? How I felt was kind of inoffensive. Chill. Just kind of there, hanging out. You know, I didn't feel like it was a rival that I actively disliked. Or that there were active, noticeable flaws with, the way that Gen 6 had 4 rivals, 3 of which didn't matter, but still pretended to matter. Oh yeah, no, I got a couple 45s at this point, Sean. But still putting that off. We're gonna do Cinnabar. Oh yeah, Hal beat me on the third island, I want to say, when I played through Moon. Granted, I think I wasn't at full strength at the time, but still, he beat me. This is catharsis. Now, see, what's really interesting is that now that we don't get EVs from just fighting Pokemon, Magikarp Man does not actually serve any sort of purpose. Oh yeah, I will probably engage with the Poképelago quite a bit. I keep thinking about them beans. I don't think we get anything from battles. We get a little bit of experience, but very little because they're Magikarp. Magikarps are no joke, Hedgie. I will have you know. Magikarps are serious business. Not a fan of how I'm doing basically 75% to everybody with all my attacks. Not huge on that. See how this does. Yeah, there we go. That same thing. I guess Ice Punch is the theme of her team. Yeah, probably. No, we don't need to grind, Callie. We do not need to grind. I know. Yeah. No, if I wanted to sound like Christopher Walken, I can do that. We do not need to grind. There's all kinds of Christopher Walken. There's the slow, methodical. And then there's like, wow, I'm Christopher Walken. I'm so excited. But Christopher Walken does not need to grind. That's a good question, Sean. I hadn't really thought about that. The fact that I'm gonna be catching a whole bunch of different species for the Koga catch-a-thon, I probably won't get that many candies, to be perfectly honest. So it won't make a huge difference. But the fact that it won't make a huge difference... Oh, for butt's sake. The fact that it won't make a huge difference is both a reason to use the candies and to not use the candies. Yes, Gladion does introduce himself with a JoJo pose. That is a true statement. Alright, busting out the big guns here. Alright. There it is. There's Ice Punch. Cool. While I'm thinking about it, let's teach Toxic to Bellary, because we really should have done that a long time ago. I thought we had Toxic. Did we not have Toxic? Oh no, we get that from Koga. For some reason I thought we got it from the guy across the water in Celadon. Do we get Toxic from that person in a different game that I'm trying to remember, or what? Alright. So, we've taken care of whatever the heck route that is. And I think we have just enough time to probably go into the Cinnabar Mansion and do Cinnabar Mansion things. Probably gonna want to lead with Gastrodon to... We can catch a coughing, can't we? Won't be adding it to our team, but it's Pokemon we can add to our Pokédex. Alright, yeah, get ready to name a coughing, and possibly also a wheezing. If we find a wild wheezing, I might catch both, so I don't have to train the coughing. Speaking of which, let's try to catch a wheezing. Actually, let's switch balls. Let's use our Master Ball. No. Okay, get your names ready. I don't know if this will work or not. Calm down, but much. Nope, okay. Post! Post the names. Names. Let's hear them. First one gets it. Smoker. Smoker's the first. Now, there's still the possibility of catching a coughing, so keep that in mind. But Smoker is the name. And hey, that's a Pokemon that's actually the lower level than our party when we catch it. Amazing! Alright. I'll keep my eyes out for a coffin, though. Let's have someone else follow us since we can't ride on Gastrodon here. Contendees? Yeah! Hey, there's coughing. Alright, let's catch a coughing too. It's huge! Alright, get ready your names. Ah. I don't have many raspberries. Luckily I don't need many. Not even close. Nope. Alright, get your names ready. Post! Post. James. Be very careful. James it is. But it is all caps, James, so. Alright, and with that, I think we're good on catching things. Otherwise, might grab Bulbasaur. Probably in the forest while I'm grinding, maybe. I don't know. If I see one. In which case, I will probably ask Twitter if I'm doing that off screen. I'm not sure if I'll do that off screen. Let's use some repels. Probably gonna run out, but it's okay. I mean, I won't be referring to James very often, but I will try to remember to do it in all caps whenever I do. Well, this is one of those things where I definitely never remember the proper order to do things in here. Also, wow, this is repetitive music. Who's up front? What do you call a normal name? I don't know what you consider a normal name. Man, weird how the protagonist from Pokemon Gold is a burglar now. Outstanding move. Nice. Oh man, now I'm just never gonna not notice the music. It torments me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna run out of repels so quick. I didn't know you were in the mob, Callie. That's a joke. That's mean. I shouldn't say that. Callie, for some reason YouTube thought that was swearing. Maybe it is. I don't speak Italian. Don't explode. Okay. So YouTube is this advanced. And I'm not going to replicate it, just in case, you know, it's really bad. Okay, so we're encountering some 47s here. If Blaine's top Pokemon is a 48, I think that's doable. As long as we don't try to send Bellary into his gym. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been used in JoJo's Part 5 yet, so, like, I don't understand what it says. All of my Italian knowledge comes from JoJo's. Like the major Italian city, Vienna. Yeah, new episode. I have not watched it yet. Because basically basically my schedule on Fridays is I come home from work, I go on a run, I take a shower, and I start streaming. So I've not watched it yet, but we're currently fighting a the shark thing. It's really... So last week's episode, not to like talk a ton about JoJo's, which not everyone has seen. Last week's episode was like, everyone is an idiot to make the battle happen. It's like, hey, we are on the run. Let's go stop and get lunch at a restaurant. What's that? You keep acting really suspicious? Nothing weird here. Man, this thing is nasty. Let's see what Dora Jr. can do. Yeah, this dude's got Earthquake, and it's a problem. I guess it's a lady. My mistake. Watch door, hold on. No, okay. Norris, what do you think of Traitor's Requiem? The new OP from JoJo's. What's your OP opinion? Oh, that was a little bit dangerous. Probably gonna have to be concerned when I get to Giovanni. Since Giovanni will probably unleash the earthquakes. Let's just go downstairs and to the Pokemon Center here. And maybe pick up some repels while I'm out. Yeah, I think my OP opinion would be that musically I like it better than Fighting Gold, to be perfectly honest. Fighting Gold just had, like, the part where they say Fighting Gold, I think, kind of awkward sounding, to be perfectly honest. But the visuals in Fighting Gold were way, way better, and a lot more symbolic, whereas half of Traitor's Requiem is just recapping the first half of the series. So, Hedgie, as long as you think that Chase is the best OP, then we're cool. Norris Trader's Requiem was? Or Fighting Gold? Or Chase? Probably not Chase. Yeah, I'm pretty into the music, Trader's Requiem. And, like, the animation of it is really good. It's just half of it is recap, and then another quarter of it is showing everybody's stands. And, like, the last part of it is actually... I mean, it's not even that interesting. It's just depicting what I assume is a later event in the series. Chase is the one that everybody is wrong about. It's the fifth. It sounds like a Full Metal Alchemist opening. It's the best one. It's really good. And honestly, a lot of the JoJo's openings have had to grow on me. Like, I wasn't super into Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town or Great Days or even Fighting Gold the first time around. Really, the only two that I think I really was on board with from the first listen were the first and the third, Sonachino Sadame and Stand Proud. Yeah, I mean, that's not even... Luckily, we don't even have to worry about that, Norris, because Chase is the best JoJo OP. I've heard Seven Deadly Sins is a thing that is somewhat worthy of attention, but I have not paid attention to it whatsoever. I see it on Netflix occasionally. I need to watch Violet Evergarden on Netflix. I really want to see that because I love Kyoto Animation. No, see, the true JoJo's experience is just listening to and watching the OP over and over every week, wishing it were Friday. No, End of the World, it's not great. It's like, I would put it in the lower rungs of JoJo OPs. Is Seven Deadly Sins like pretty straightforward shonen or what? Because like on the outside it looks like fairly straightforward shonen. Yeah, I mean, again, none of the JoJo OPs are bad, but, like, the part of End of the World that's... It just feels kind of a little bit all over the place. Like, I don't feel any direction moving forward. It just feels like he's kind of aimlessly climbing. So, melodically, I'm not a huge fan of that part. Which is too bad, because, like, Tommy is awesome. I really like Tommy as a singer. Look, if we got up in arms every time someone was wrong about a JoJo OP, you know, we would be constantly up in arms, because most people are wrong about Chase. So we just kind of learn. We learn to deal. We learn to tolerate. Haji, you're looking for endings. Endings. Because shoujo OPs can do all sorts of things that when you close your eyes. Honestly, I like Trader's Requiem a lot. I am 100% on board with Modern Crusaders as an ending. So good. Like, the first time I listened to it, I was like, this is a jam. You're kind of getting full of yourselves by sampling O Fortuna like this, and then ending with Toccata and Fugue is, like, hilarious. But I'm 100% on board. I that's what I've been listening to on repeat. It's not Trader's Requiem. I've been looping Modern Crusaders. And I at some point want to actually listen to the rest of the album, because apparently, like, the whole album samples O Fortuna, like, a lot. So I really want to hear that. Oh no, I'm doing that thing where I wander around. Gotta go up. Man, now I wish I were listening to Modern Crusaders and not this extremely repetitive music. Did I get this room? Yeah. So one thing I remember about the original Gen 1 version of this game, and this might be the case in Gen 3, I almost said Chase. It might be the case in Gen 3 as well, but I remember it being kind of unclear which way you had to go down. Because, like, you walk off a cliff to go down, basically. And one of them gets where you want to be, and the other does not. And then you have to walk all the way around, and it's a pain in the butt. So, I think they alleviated that problem here. I think they provided a distinct ladder. But that amount of three-dimensional orientation was just too much for my puny child brain, which is probably why Seafoam Islands was also so tricky for me. Ooh, all three of these things can get eaten up by Drill Run. I'm gonna play it safe and heal here. Alright. No, what about sped anyway? Cool. That doesn't happen very often. Oh, I just saw someone in my Steam is playing Dark Souls 3 and not Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. How bizarre. Sorry, attendees. Has anyone played Sekiro? Has anyone played Sekiro yet? I was arguing with people on my Discord about how Dark Souls 3 is the worst of the Dark Souls games. And I was a little bit concerned that Sekiro was going to follow up on some of the things I disliked about Dark Souls 3. So I was curious to hear people's reactions. I'm sure that I will end up buying it and playing it at some point, but if it's more Dark Souls 3, then I might wait for a sale. Yeah, I mean, so I was also telling people on the Discord that, you know, there is no fan consensus about which Souls game is the best or worst. But Dark Souls 3 is definitely the worst. And if you disagree, you're wrong. So, like, the main game of Dark Souls 3 was a little underwhelming. Kind of linear. I felt like the weapon variety, like the game didn't quite reward trying out different weapons the way the previous games had, due to the increased speed to try to make it more like Bloodborne. The DLC is fucking garbage. It's super bad, and it soured the rest of the game. No, because there are people with taste who recognize that 2 is extremely good. Much like, you know, how not everyone realizes that Chase is the best JoJo OP. A lot of people don't recognize that 2 is better than 3. And, you know, that's just statistics. A certain subset of the population is going to be wrong about something. That's how we have flat earthers. Your opinion is wrong is a statement that I will bust out on frequent occasions. But, like, so people criticize Dark Souls 2 for throwing way too many enemies at you. And an increased linearity compared to Dark Souls 1, and the world design isn't quite as interesting, and the levels don't quite have that same interlocking nature that a lot of good Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 areas had. And some of their complaints are valid. Dark Souls 3 still throws way too many enemies at you. If that's a criticism you have of Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3 is the same problem. And the world design of Dark Souls 3 is a heck of a lot more linear than either 1 or 2, and the individual level design, while technically more interlocking in that way that people like, got so goddamned predictable that it became monotonous for me. Because, I distinctly remember several times when I was playing Dark Souls 3, and I looked over and I saw, oh, that's a door made of bars, and I can see that there is an elevator there, so I guess probably in about half an hour I'm gonna ride an elevator back up here. And lo, it was so. And that happens several times throughout the game, and it's just like, alright, I see how these levels are made, and it is ruining the immersion of the game. So Dark Souls 3's world is connected in a straight line with a couple dead-end forks off the side. And then, after you get to the end of the line, you loop back to not quite the starting area, but basically the first non-tutorial area. and you walk backwards a little bit, and then it's linear from there. Yeah, it's an extremely pruned tree. It is a tree with a couple branches, none of which have any branches coming off those branches. It's less of a tree and more of a twig. And I mean, you know, if the game were better, you know, I can appreciate some linearity. That's fine. Dark Souls 2 has a lot of linearity in its second half. But I just found Dark Souls 3... Again, I enjoyed it. I'd probably give the base game a 4 out of 5. But I found myself, even just by the time I was getting to the Cathedral of the Deep, I was like, kind of getting old here. Bloodborne is significantly better than Dark Souls 3, I would say. Only problem with Bloodborne is that it's PS4 only, and then unless you have a Pro, it does not run at a solid 30. Pro can do boosted mode to get it up to a solid 30, but the base PS4 has some frame rate issues. Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable about the lore of 3, but I do know that the DLC introduces... This is a spoiler for Dark Souls 3 DLC to demonstrate how bad it is. They introduce another secret child of Gwyn in the final DLC of the trilogy. Why? Because everything... Gwyn's so cool, you guys. There's a lot to criticize about Yahtzee Croshaw, but he made a very good point about sequels. Good sequels use the original as a launching pad, a jumping off point. Weaker sequels will just kind of attach themselves to the side of the original. And Dark Souls 3 is like, hey, remember Dark Souls 1? Remember how good that was? You remember that? It's so good, you guys. Here's this area that we straight up lifted from Dark Souls 1. Aren't you nostalgic? We made it all about Gwyn again. Instead of Dark Souls 2, which uses the premise of this endless cycle of death and rebirth and says something new. Like Dark Souls 3, you can argue, is like the first one, but more so about the inevitability of these cycles going over and over and over. Dark Souls 2 is about the inevitability of those cycles going over and over and over, and the desire to find a new way out. I mean, it is bad, though. And look, again, most of Dark Souls 3, pretty good. Better than most games. But some major issues with regards to, and I mean, Sekiro being a new IP, a new story, I assume will not be dedicating its existence to how great a previous game was. But I really hope that the world design and I hope the pace of the game is more appropriate to what they're trying to do. Yeah, I feel like the greatest moment of melancholy over the diminishment of something grand, as you're saying it, Edgy, is walking into the kiln of the first flame in Dark Souls 1. Because that is an incredible moment, and it's such a well-composed environment, just from a sheer cinematography standpoint, even. You see the greatness of this environment, how it was consumed by the flame, and you get a sense of how great the flame once was, and how pitiful it must be now. Oh, here's Mewtwo's chill out spot. That's depressing. Yeah, Dark Souls 2, the Hyde's Tower of Flame. Hyde's. Gorgeous, gorgeous area. Wish it had more story. Wish it had more lore. Yeah, Mewtwo reacts when you bring him here. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and also just the design of the DLCs got way too hard. And I'm not one of those like, Dark Souls is so hard, I don't like it. It just got to the point of, why the fuck did you give this boss 3 distinct health bars? And I have to go through the first 2 phases to get to the final phase each and every goddamn time. And then he gave Madir like 5,000 hit points. It's just so... And there's the part in the Ringed City where it's like all those spectral archers, and you have to go through and wait for those waves of spectral archers every single time when you want to get through. And it's just... DLC is real bad, guys. Anyway, I think that's basically what we wanted to accomplish in this session. In the next session, I think we're just about ready to take on the Cinnabar City Gym. And then maybe we'll go fight Sabrina. And then maybe we'll finally go catch some things so we can fight Koga. Because I can't think of any other ways to delay. But anyway, thank you for hanging out for the stream this week. I should see you all next week. I don't think I have anything in the way. So, let's call it good here. Let's save. And thanks for hanging out. And I'll see y'all next time.